This video is sponsored by WB Games.
What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today some multiverses. So by the time I upload this, the alpha should be done, or basically done. And before I start, I want to thank Player First Games and WB for giving me the opportunity to play in the closed alpha. Thank you very much. Now, I played this game quite a bit. I only played Velma. I played mostly 2v2s with Apology Man. We're practicing for the dynamic duos with Void and Nakat, and I ended up really enjoying the game while we were playing 2v2. So I'm going to basically share what I like and what I don't like about the game and my overall thoughts. So starting with my overall thoughts, basically the game is a blast to play in 2v2. I had a lot of fun. This is definitely a game I could see myself playing for fun, for sure, like a couple hours a day with like a friend if someone's available. Now, the things I like. So one, the control option. So you could basically play this on anything. So the game is on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and you can play with any of those controllers, keyboard. I actually played this with an arcade stick, like a fight stick, the same controller I used to play Guilty Gear. I used to play this game, and it controls really well. There was a small problem with doing like a down air because you fast fall automatically, but if you just tap up, it's not a problem, so I got over that pretty quickly. Then 2v2. So 2v2 is the main event of this game. It is really, really fun. I could tell that the characters were made with 2 versus 2 in mind. I had a lot of fun playing with Apology Man, and this kind of ties into another point of matchmaking where you just hop into games really fast, non-stop. So it has that kind of keep going factor, keep going, keep just run another one, which is, as you know, it's like the equivalent of like the rematch button in a fighting game. You just don't stop. So if you're having fun, you get to just keep going. That's really, really fun. Now, I also like how there's many strong characters. So this is important, and it ties into the IP and how strong the IP is. So you have a lot of crossovers. So I played Velma the whole time, so Scooby Doo, right? And then there's Shaggy, who's also from Scooby Doo. They have DC characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Arya Stark is there for whatever reason, and they have classics like Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny. There's someone for everyone, at least as far as a character. Even if it might not be a style for you, there's at least something you're familiar with. And as I mentioned in some other games that are based off IPs, so the worst thing that could happen is definitely, let's say you're a huge fan of Batman and then he's just like not good. Without that would be just tragic or something, you know what I mean? So the fact that all the characters felt very strong is definitely a good point, and they're going in a good direction with the character design. They also have some pretty unique character designs. So the MVP is probably Tom and Jerry for this one. So like Bugs is pretty cool and has some interesting stuff. Honestly, a bunch of the characters have some interesting stuff, but there are characters like Harley who I was interested in trying, but she's pretty straightforward, I would say. She has a couple of cool, unique tools. Velma is really, really unique, but Tom and Jerry, if there's somebody who knows a fighting game where the character's design is they're fighting each other, thus they're fighting you, please tell me who they are, because I have never seen that before. This is actually really, really unique character design. So props to you for that. The movement is really fun. There's a lot of movement options in this game. So you have 2, maybe 3 jumps if you're playing 2v2 because of perks. You have 2 air dashes. Usually people have the up special and side special, and usually those give air options as well. So you have a lot of ways to move around the screen. Some characters are extremely good at moving, like Batman and Superman are exceptionally mobile, for example. So if you like moving around quickly on the screen, this game is good at that as well. The perk system is another really unique thing about the game. So as far as what is different about this game compared to other platform fighters, right? So 1 would be movement for sure, 2 would be perks, and 3 would be that you can't block. So you have to use the movement, and they give you plenty of movement options to reposition and stuff. The perks help accent certain things about the character. So your character has a unique perk, and then you have 3 slots, and you can pick various things. You can coordinate with your teammate and come up with a build to work together with your partner. So this is pretty interesting because you can come up with unique strategies and counter strategies in case you have to. So for example, like let's say you're playing against a projectile team, there are anti-projectile perks you can use, or if you're using a projectile team, there are perks that make your projectiles more scary or give you small buffs if your projectiles hit. There's all sorts of little things you can do. And usually they stack. Basically in all cases, I'd say they stack. I don't know the entire perk list by heart, so I'm not sure if they all stack, but for the most part, if you and your partner have the same perk, they will be buffed, which incentivizes you to maybe use the same one. So that one's pretty interesting. Then you have the rollback. The netcode is really, really good. This one is a really important point for basically everybody, so it's really good that they have this out the gate, and also crossplay. So I played on PS4 exclusively, and the crossplay was pretty good. I only noticed two problems. One was Taz is invisible on PS4 for some reason. You just can't see him. And two, most of the time, basically 95% of the time, I never got to see the beginning of the game countdown. So I kind of would just get hit and be like, oh snap, and then play. But besides that, it was no issues and it felt pretty good. So dislikes. So the hitboxes are kind of jank, so it's not too big of a deal in 2v2. Again, this game is made for 2v2, right? But when you play this game 1v1, I just feel like since there's no shielding and you have to use movement, and then some characters have these really big active moves you have to fight against, and other characters kind of don't. There are times, I think Jake is probably the main one. Like I got to the point where I was like, there has to be a priority system or something, because you quite seriously see yourself hitting the characters like Lim, and then it just doesn't work. So either moves are super disjoint, or I don't know. I would really love to see hitboxes and hurtboxes in this game to just get an idea. It just feels kind of jank against some characters. Jake is like the super standout one, but there's a couple other characters that gave me this feeling as well. The rollback can be really bad sometimes. Now, this isn't really the dev's fault. There's one where I was like, okay, this is like existential rollback, where the camera slowly zooms out and everyone just runs off stage except for you, and then you're alone and you're like, oh my god, what is going on? This one isn't really their fault though. That of course, you know, you're playing with a bunch of people. They're testing the netcode in a larger fashion, right? So this one is fine. I would say this is just a minus rather than a dislike, let's say. The menu is a little bit funky. The menu seems to be made with PC in mind for sure. I'll say, as someone who was playing on stick, it was pretty annoying to navigate the menu. Obviously, I'm in a really, really small percentage of players as far as that goes. But it definitely gave me like a PC feel, and in a console, for like someone who's only playing on console, or like let's say you've only played on PS4, you never had a PC, the menu just is kind of weird to move around, right? I think training mode could be a little bit better. This is less a dislike and more of just like just tune this up a little bit. Mainly in making the opponent do specific things, like giving the option to make them charge the move would be really, really helpful for testing out things against certain moves. And then the last one would be, it's kind of circling back to my first point, but I don't like 1v1, essentially. Like, it was fun for a little bit, but I think not playing with a friend is one, and then how I can't hold defensive positions because you can't block, you have to move. So it makes playing against some characters just really, really obnoxious. Like, some matchups are really fun, others are like, ugh, to like an extreme, to where in 2v2, let's say those same characters are a little annoying, but between like playing with a friend and you're communicating with a friend all the time, and you have twice as many perks, so you could use more stuff to fight against them, I think I just ended up having a much better time playing 2v2 compared to 1v1. But yeah, so overall outlook is pretty good, honestly. I had way more fun with this game than I was expecting. I played so much. I cannot tell you how much 2v2 I played of this game. Like, I would say around like 10 to 14 hours, which was way more than I was expecting to play. where 1v1, I probably put in, let's say, like 4 to 5 hours, and then I was like, this is probably not the play. But I had a really, really good time playing 2v2. So if you're looking for a different experience, a platform fighter, they have a lot of IPs and more characters coming, then take a look. There's going to be an open beta, I believe, in July, so check that out. And I should have a link in the description below for you to sign up for that, so make sure to check that out. Again, thanks to WB and Player First Games for giving me the opportunity to try the game out. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
This video is sponsored by WB Games.